Today is Tuesday, December 5th, 2017. This is MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. To my left is Gorgeous George. He's here permanently now. We like it. I don't know if his mic's on, though.
He's on.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, that's what he says. To his left is Dan Tom. He's MMA Junkie Radio's fight analyst. And back in New York, we have the world's greatest producer, Dan Yotto, and I am Goes. Hello, and how is everybody?
Good,
Hello.
good.
Can't complain.
I have a very important message about your credit.
Welcome to Movie Phone. Why don't you
I do
just
have a
tell
very
me
important message,
what
though.
movie you want to watch? You have a very important message about what?
As a throwback.
I do. We have a very important person on the hotline
Already?
Cool.
already.
Oh, wow.
Alright, nice.
Okay.
All ready to go. And we're up in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm trying to remember what it was like when I was in high school getting news. So I'm looking at like Twitter and all that and just seeing all the different types of
You could have
stories and
gone
where they're
so many
coming
different
from.
places.
And it's so different from, I remember like the sporting news. I remember getting a lot of stuff from there. Then you just had to wait till the news at night. So different now, man.
You talking about like news in general, or you're talking about like sports related news? Because ESPN.
Everything.
I guess you were.
The
in
internet
a
was
lot
barely
later
kicking
than-
in back then.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
in
here we
the
go.
internet.
So this is going to be affected maybe by... Okay, I just thought of that.
What?
What we did yesterday. Now this isn't a hardline deal anymore, right? How do I find wireless or whatever? This?
Wait, it should still be hardlined.
No, it says
Coming
MGM
up in a minute.
Resorts. So now I got to find Junkie Radio. Connect. Pin. Pin is... Oh, here we go. Why did I know this would come back to haunt? Why does it ask? Pin.
Why isn't it hardlined?
Because we removed the hardline thing yesterday, isn't it?
Oh,
it's
30.
still in there. Nothing's been touched. We shouldn't have any type of change until
Okay.
like next couple days.
So what's the deal? Studio, show.
Let's see. Yeah, 5G's still here.
Alright, guys, coming up at 10.
Great.
Stand
VX is down.
I gotcha through the Facebook. Don't worry. Coming up.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space,
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
we've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology, MMA Junkie Radio, commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Race and Sportsbook, you are listening to MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'll dispense of all the intros and who we are. You know who we are. We got to get right down to it because we have a world champion on hold. Max Holloway defended his world title at UFC 218 this past Saturday in Detroit, Michigan, and he joins us now on the hotline. What's up, champ? How you doing?
Doing good. What's up, my guys?
What's up, man? How you doing? How did that feel to defend your world title, something that wasn't done by the prior champion?
Feels like a champ. It feels great, man. It feels great to go out there and do the damn thing, you know. It's great to restore order back into the division.
Right.
And like I told you guys, you know, it's like kings do. Kings defend their thrones, and I was glad I was able to defend mine on Saturday.
Yeah, and you know what, man? A great version of Aldo came at you. I mean, he fought till the better end. You know, Joe Rogan kept noting that as hard as he was throwing, the gas tank was going to go down, and it was going down, but it looked like he invested everything into those hard shots. Man, he was missing with some uppercuts, with some hooks, so I applaud your defense as well as your offense.
Thank you. Yeah, man. You know, that's what I said. You know, I you know, before the fight, someone released a article on him talking about his motivation for the fight, and because the motivation was his daughter, and the daughter lost the last fight and so on, and he didn't want to leave the bitter taste of that last fight in his daughter's mouth. And when I read that, I knew I was getting the best Jose Aldo. You know, he was motivated and all that stuff. But you know, the guy shouldn't worry, man. You know, he should not worry. He doesn't owe anybody anything. He's the greatest of all time. You know, in my book. You know, I believe Rio, Brazil should be celebrating him, and all the favelas, they should be making statues of the man. The man's a living, walking legend, man. He's a golden.
Now that's
this my night again, you know. Is this my night again? That night, and that's all you can say. MMA is a fucking wild sport. You guys all know it, and you know, I'm just glad that everything went my way, and I'm glad that he showed up. The best Aldo showed up, and at the end of the night, I just landed the more shots that counted, you know.
Right. You know, so obviously he missed a lot. Part of that was due to, you know, your defense. But when he did hit you, I wanted to know, was he causing any damage? Like, was he hurting you in any way that you were concerned, or did you feel like you were taking his best shot and also at that point psychologically beating him, mentally beating him?
Yeah, I feel like I can take anyone's best shot. My training partners is big 170ers, you know, Yancy and Maki Pitolu. You know, and I get a couple guys that's around my weight that we train, but I mostly train with the bigger guys in there, and I feel like I can take, you know, us Hawaiians, you know, you us are Hawaiians. Most of us got granite chins, you know, I don't know what it is, you know, I'm Polynesian, and things like using our bloodline to have these chins and heart. So it was great, you know, and even that, I was looking forward to his leg kicks, you know, the first two, I kind of checked them correctly, and I was like, his leg kicks wasn't that sore, you know, and then one of them landed. I was like, oh, okay, that's the leg kick everyone was talking about. That's a little bit, looked a little good, but
right.
Yeah, you know, the man hits hard, like I told you, but I was just, you know, I think I was positioned in places where he was hitting me, but it wasn't in full power. So, like I said, man, I got to land my shots. My shot is landing cleaner than his, and you know, mine is affecting him much more than he was affecting me.
Max, you know, one thing I was curious about when I was looking at your record is the fact that Aldo Pettis, those are your last 3 fights. You finished all of them, and prior to that, you had a couple decisions. Tough guys in Lamas and Stevens, and even if you go back a little further, Cole Miller. You know, you're always out there trying to finish. But what was it that you think got you to that level where you were able to finish these former champions, legend, like you said, in Aldo? You know, you had to have obviously gotten better. Where do you think you got better that you just became a finisher like that in big fights? You're clutch.
You know, time moves all, man. And there's this time of being in there, getting more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable. This last fight, my coach, after my fight, he after the fight, he told me, he was like, man, everything all right? I was like, everything's good. Why, coach? And he's like, I don't know, man. It's so different. You're usually a little bit more on edge, you know, in the back before the fight and this and that. But I was super, like, every fight I get more relaxed. And this fight I was so relaxed. I don't know. I told Coach Israel and Lazarus, I told him, Coach, I don't know. I was so relaxed. I was kind of nervous how relaxed I was, but I knew I was ready, so I didn't care, you know. So, man, it's just time in there and having these big fights, being in the spotlight, and just enjoying the ride. You know, I was enjoying it. You know, I knew all the hard work I did, and you know, and there's this thing of being fear. You know, you shouldn't fear anything until it's about to happen. You know, and you know, Will Smith talks about, there's this YouTube video of Will Smith talking about him going skydiving and fear, and how on the opposite side of fear is when you feel the most blissful and alive. And I watched that a couple of months back, and you know, that hit me hard. You know, it's like too much people, they worry about life. You know, if you why are you worrying about life? Is like walking around with an umbrella on a sunny day. You know, waiting for the rain. Don't wait for it. Just be okay when it happens and be ready for it. But don't worry about it too much. Don't put too much stress and effort in it. So it's just my calmness, man. I was so calm. I was having fun. You know, fight week, we always have fun. People was giving me shit for ice skating. I really see no problem why people was giving me shit. You know, it's just a good thing. I'm an athlete, guys. We can do this kind of stuff and have fun.
Max Holloway, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. He's the UFC featherweight champion. He just defended his world title at UFC 218 in Detroit, Michigan, versus legendary Jose Aldo from Brazil. All right, Goes, what do you have for Max Holloway?
Max, after the first fight, a lot of people were trying to figure out what went wrong for Jose Aldo, and a lot of people pointed to the leg kicks. He didn't throw those. But what about yourself? In the first fight, is there anything that you did here in the second fight that you felt like you didn't do in the first fight?
I just got going faster in this fight. You know, the first fight, I was taking my time. You know, I always take my time. You guys always see me take my time. You know, and trying to figure it out. This fight, we had a couple ideas what he think we would do, and we had a couple answers for it. And when he started doing one thing and it was pretty obvious, and you know, I started getting loose and we was ready. So I was just I was 100 times more loose in this fight. You know, I got going way more faster, way more quicker, and you know, things ended falling into place.
I think what surprised me the most about your career is in these last couple fights, you have this look on your face that almost seems like you know exactly what your opponent's going to do next, and you're just never worried about what's going to happen. Can you point back to the last time in a fight where you were worried or caught by surprise by someone?
Would probably be this last one. You know, I wasn't worried, but I can't believe Aldo caught me with the uppercut again. I was like punching myself in the head. I wanted to slap myself. I was like, what is going on? Why did you get caught with that again? You know, because the first fight, that's what people were talking about. So, man, I do my homework, man. I got some of the best minds in MMA around me. You know, they just don't get the love for it. Rylan Azores, Ivan Flores, Darren Yap, you know, even my management, Sucker Punch Entertainment, Brian Butler. We all do our homework, man. We do our homework, we study fights, and we find a lot of stuff out about my opponents. So it's great, man. It's great. It's just been good, and I make sure I do my homework, man. You go out there, and the internet is a wild place. You know, people fucking like making memes of people and shit. So I don't want to be a meme, man.
I know every fight you go into, you know with the utmost confidence that you're going to win that fight. But was there a specific moment in the fight that you can point to where you thought, all right, I got this guy?
Oh yeah. In this last fight, yeah. I told him if he was listening to the press conference in the third round, I dropped my hands, and I wanted to. I remember watching. That's why I shot Lomachenko, because I remember Lomachenko like dropped his hands and actually put his hands in his opponent's his head in his opponent's hands, and his opponent wasn't doing nothing. And I was trying to do that to Aldo, but he wasn't letting me get too close. But I was dropping my hands and I was talking to him, and I was telling him, "This is where you punch me now." And then I was like, and I was telling him to punch me. I was like, I dare you to punch me. And then we did that little flurry, and then after the little flurry, I dropped my hands, and I was like, okay, there you go, let's go again. And then, you know, he stopped punching. So I was like, oh, this guy's tired. He's tired. After the first round, I knew he was tired. I walked over to John Anik and Joe Rogan, and I told him the man's tired already. After the first round, he's tired, and it was my fight. You know, confidence can get you a long way. Preparation can get you a long way. I know what I did, and all the hard work, all the sacrifice I had to do to get to this point, and it's easy at fight night. You know, I just got to show the world.
Can you imagine being that good that you're toying with Aldo?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't fight Aldo if he had just ran not only a marathon but that Ironman 100-mile race. I still wouldn't fight Aldo. And this guy's out there toying with one of the greatest. That's how good Max Holloway has grown before our eyes. He is our guest right now, the UFC featherweight champion. Let me turn it over to the fight analyst, Dan Tom. What do you have for Max Holloway?
Man, as someone who watches a lot of tape, I really appreciate hearing what you say, Max, and what you and your team have been putting on. And it becomes quite clear when you go back and watch all your performances. You're coming out better. You're adding new things each time. But as a fellow Hawaiian, let me ask you, kind of switching gears a little bit here. It sounds like you got a good grasp on the fighting thing as champion. You're getting comfortable in there. But what about the things outside of champion? You know, you come from a place Waianae not a lot of people know about. But is it important to maintain a championship lifestyle, being a role model, and all those things that kind of come with the gig?
Yeah, for sure. I live this. I still live in Waianae. I got the same neighbors. Everybody. I'm the same person. And I did try to be that little hope for that kid. I started in a garage at the age of 16, training in a garage. I turned pro at the age of 18 in MMA, training in a garage. I want to show these kids from Waianae, not only from Waianae, these kids from tough neighborhoods, even Detroit, when we went out there, the kids all over the world, that it's not where you start, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and if you guys got a dream, you guys want it bad enough, you guys are going to do it, I seen drugs, my family was affected by drugs here and there and this and that, and I just want to show you, just because I'm in the hood, that doesn't mean you gotta do the hood kind of stuff, you can be the difference, you can be a difference maker, be that light, there's so much talent here, there's so much talent a lot of places where people don't think talent is, it's just the lack of confidence or the lack of people just bringing people down, don't be bringing down, believe in yourself, work hard, set goals, and crush them.
Well, it's definitely nice to see, and you're definitely doing a lot of people there proud, Max. And my last question here is another kind of one, a little bit out of left field here. But I just wanted you to clarify something. Now, everybody always reflects back to your match with Conor McGregor, and they like to bring up the fact that Conor popped his ACL in your guys' fight. But I heard, I'm not sure if it was from you or you don't make excuses or anything like that. I don't know if you can maybe clarify, but did you also have an injury going into that fight as well? Can you clarify that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I said it before. I told everybody I was injured, but I didn't want to bring it up. But everybody keep bringing up his one. It's like this guy got hurt at the end, in the last minute of the second round. And you know where he got hurt, guys?
Where?
He got hurt on the ground. He took me down. Motherfucker took me down. I told you guys, I changed all these strikers into wrestlers. And he was one of the guys who wrestled me. And he got hurt on the ground when we was doing jiu-jitsu. I heard it. It's like the ending. It's like 1 minute left, minute and a half left in the second round. So for all you guys saying that, he's going to knock me out, blah, 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 nobody gets past 2 rounds with him without getting knocked out. And he's over here lying on me on the second round getting hurt. But I hurt myself. If you watch the first minute of our fight in the first round, I hurt myself at 30 seconds. I kick him in his knee, and then I kick him in his elbow. And then after that, after the fight, that's when I hurt my ankle, and after the fight, I was diagnosed with a freaking high and low ankle sprain, and that's what they said. The doctor said, we don't know how it's not broken, or how are you even moving? Like the doctor was trying. It was funny because the doctor told me. I told the doctor, what are you doing? He was like, I was here for the UFC. He's like, I bet the fight didn't go well. I was like, oh yeah, I lost. He's like, how did you lose? I was like, a decision in 15 minutes. And he's like, when did this happen? I was like, in the first minute of the fight. And he's like, what? How are you moving around? I was like, I don't know. I was hobbling, but I was fighting. That's just the Hawaiian spirit in me, I guess. I'm blessed, and there's no excuses, man. That guy, they can say all he wants about his injury and this and that. If you really believe he's the best, he'd run it back again. There's different levels to this and different stuff. The guy's a businessman. Fair play to him. And until then, we see what happens. If the fight never happens, you guys, it's never ever going to be on my end. You guys know I'm willing to fight. I just fought Jose Aldo back to back. I highly doubt a lot of people would do that. And just guy can do whatever he wants. You know, it's him. You know, I'm a champ. Champ's got responsibilities, and I'm taking on the full responsibilities.
Max, I want to go back to the hood that you talked about. You said you're still there. Is the hood proud of you, or you know, sometimes when someone has success, they get haters, or are they on the hater side?
Bro, I got love over here. You ever see Marshawn Lynch?
Marshawn Lynch?
Watch Marshawn. Yeah, watch Marshawn Lynch on Twitter. You see how loved he is from his city? That's why I try to model myself of my city and stuff. Like, he gives so back. I'm trying to give back to my city, and I'm just loved here, man. Did you see Brazil after the Brazil fight? Did you not see that big homecoming I had? And then they ended up doing big stuff for me. The kids here, the people here, the family here, the grandma, the grandpas, everyone here loves us, man. They love me and Jans. They love what we're doing, and they just love the positivity. There's a lot of negative things that come out of this side, you know, that we get shunned on and whatever. And, you know, when these positive things like me and Jans come around, they jump on it. So we got a lot of love, man, you know, and it's great, man. I love this city.
Where's the champ going on vacation? Disneyland?
Going to Disneyland again. Hell yeah, I gotta go get my churro fix, my friend.
What's the record again? 15 or something like
that? 15.
16. You gonna try and break it, or you over that?
I'm not doing that again, though. I'm over it, man. Tyler Mitten, my guy's gonna kill me if I get heavy.
Well, it was. I mean, 15, but there was also a churro cake, and I think in each churro cake is like 4 at least.
Wow. Unbelievable what this guy
well,
does.
18, 19. There it is.
That's awesome, man. Well, you know, I hope you enjoy it. You definitely put on a show. Hopefully you become one of those pay-per-view stars. Any word on that? Like, just even a thumbs up or a wink as far as, like, the trends? It'd be nice for you to get one of them big, fat checks that everyone's always gunning for.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. We're waiting. I've been hassling Butler. He ain't hear nothing yet. I keep hassling Butler, telling him, bro, do your job, Butler. Stop fucking around, you know. I'm just I love giving that old man shit, man. You know, I love that guy, man. He does so much for me. But yeah, I've been irritating him every day. It's like, can you actually see what the pay-per-view numbers is? Can you actually see? I want to see, you know. It's good, you know. And I think the things are turning, like you said, you know. I think the pay-per-view stars. I think so. My numbers every time I had the last two, like from 206 to 212, we jumped. So we jumped up a couple pay-per-views. So from 212 to this, and I think so the jump is even bigger. I think the supporting card was so great, and you know, I think so this card was like the first card in history ever that all the people on it was ranked 6 or higher. So it was amazing, man. It was an amazing card. I was blessed to be a part of the night. I was glad. I was happy to stay fighting in front of the fans of Detroit. They're great, and even the fans of all the world. You know, everybody who tuned into the pay-per-view and bought. Thank you guys, and I'm just grateful.
You know, you should do something that Ronda Rousey did. Ronda Rousey, when she was up and coming, she got on Chris Weidman cards when he was very popular off Silva. In the end, it benefited Weidman because Ronda became a star, but you and Ngannou should make a deal. Hey, we should try and get on the same card, you know, because I think both of you guys are headed in that same direction. Just play off of, you know, we're each other's good luck or something like that. Next thing you know, those cards will become $1 million pay-per-view cards.
That'd be great, man. I'm all down for it, dude. Bring him on the show. Let him know. Tell him you're a great idea. I'm down.
See, there, I'm already doing Butler's work. I'm doing Butler's work. Tell Butler, hey, man, the guys at Junkie Radio, they're doing your work for you. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Might give me a reason to fire his ass.
No. We don't want that, Brian. It's cool, man. Don't go firing nobody. That's funny. All right, buddy. Well, listen, thanks for waking up early and doing the show. Enjoy your vacation at Disneyland. Don't go too crazy on the churros, and cannot wait for the next matchup. Sounds like it's already Frankie Edgar, unless they throw something else at you, and that'll be a great fight. You know, it doesn't even matter who it is next. As long as Max Holloway's involved, it'll be a great fight.
Definitely.
You put on a show, brother. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you guys, man. You guys have a great one. Aloha.
All right,
Easy,
you
Max.
too. See ya. All right, folks. That is Max Holloway, the UFC featherweight champion. What a scrap! What a card! We talked about it yesterday, and when I got home, I was just checking social media, and people are still exchanging their thoughts and where they were, and memes. Poor Alistair's a meme. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's being torched.
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, Ngannou sent him to the moon with that uppercut. But Aldo's probably in Brazil going, what the fuck? Like, I'm an all-time great, and I gave it my all. How good is this guy?
I was thinking about that yesterday because a lot of fighters, he's at the point where he's faced him twice and lost to him twice. So he's got to think, well,
he's got to root for Edgar. He's got to root for Edgar.
Speaking of Edgar, I mean, remember how blown away we were when Edgar beat BJ Penn twice, and one of those was a close decision, and the other was a dominant but a decision, and even then we were blown away what we just saw done to a legend. So that's what's kind of reminiscent of what you just said there, huh?
And that Hawaiian Mount Rushmore,
yeah, 2
of them are set.
Shoots.
Holloway and Penn, and then we can argue all day about the other guys, but but those two for sure.
It's funny too because
they're cemented.
If you look at both of them, if you look at BJ and you look at Max, and people who don't know about mixed martial arts, for you to go, do you know those are 2 of the baddest men on the planet? They laugh. They don't look that way. They don't look like that.
Yeah. Max still has the young kid look a little bit, know.
Yeah, skinny.
And BJ's always just in board shorts and beach attire, sandals or whatever. So again, he just doesn't really look like. And plus, he's got like a soft-spoken voice. Yeah, exactly. He's not really shredded or anything.
They look like they'd work at Foot Locker or Sports Chalet or something.
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, we'll drown you in the Pacific Ocean. I mean, if they wanted to. Shout out to Brian Butler for setting that one up. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. It was scheduled to be a little later, and we had to switch things around. So if anybody was counting on that, that little switcheroo, it really, really happened at the very end. He is going on vacation soon. Disneyland, he told us. He does that for his kid, and I hope he enjoys it,
Kid's pretty funny, huh?
He is.
Kid's funny.
The dab.
Natural.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Yancy Medeiros was on tip of my tongue, and I was about to get into that, but I said, well, let's just take a break. And then what we got to do is shore up UFC 218, the recap of that card that happened yesterday. Gagey and Alvarez and Tisha and Watterson and everything else that took place. We haven't really talked much about our boy Paul Felder. Yeah. That was a great comeback for him. And so we'll do that. We'll get into it. Things free up until the second hour, and then we'll talk to our other guest, Geoff Quares. We'll be talking some Muay Thai then. So stick around, folks. This is your time to call in, 866-522-2846. Let's talk some MMA. We'll be right back.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Help SiriusXM in the fight to end hunger. Support Why Hunger's annual Hungerthon by visiting SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon. And you can do that to bid items like the opportunity to spend a day at an NFL training camp with the SiriusXM NFL radio team. You can also make a donation and receive a free gift like a Bruce Springsteen Land of Hope and Dreams t-shirt and more. All right, we're going to go to the phones now. Again, if you missed any portion of the Max Holloway interview, we are on the SiriusXM app, the fabulous SiriusXM app, which you should download to your mobile phones or your, smartphones is what they call them now, or the tablets that you may have. You'll like it. It's HD quality, and it's commercial free. Showtime from Tennessee is our caller. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much. How you doing?
Cooling, man. Great interview with Max, man. I like that kid, man.
He's hard not to like, right? There's not an Achilles heel yet. He's
no. Well, I have one, but
you do?
I think out of respect,
we got out of there.
He may have. Did you notice there was one time where it seemed like he wanted to say it and he stopped himself?
He almost said it.
Because we set him straight when he was in studio, right? Yeah. He never once said
but
it is.
But he'd still kind of like
is.
say it or wink at me, like just to tease me. But
then
this time,
okay.
I think out of respect, he didn't do it.
That was cool. We got away with it.
Now, I just see him manhandling this division. He may go on a run, sort of like Aldo did, because hell, if Aldo can't handle him, I love Frankie to death. Well, what makes us think little old tiny Frankie Edgar can handle this dude?
I'm gonna tell you what. If Frankie can do to Max what he did to Cub, then that's what he can do. You know, Max is definitely gonna have his wrestling tested in this fight, and you know, he's got to be able to stop the takedown, or if he does get taken down, then have the ability to get up, not sustain damage, or go to work off his back. You know, I don't know. But that'll be interesting right there, because he has had his run with strikers, you know, Pettis, Aldo. Lamas comes from a wrestling background, but, you know, he boxes well, so that fight was on its feet a lot. I do recall that was UFC 199. I don't know if you guys remember more details about it, but I think Lamas did attempt some times to take the fight to the ground. So
yes,
Holloway's not easy to take down like he was before. So, but at the same time, I don't know that he's as committed and his timing is good as Edgar. So, you know, questions will be answered, man. But you get past Frankie Edgar, then you can really start saying, "Whoa, now what?" You know, who's gonna stop him? Now, again, I noted yesterday Mendez comes off suspension. He's a pretty explosive wrestler, and you know, and then after that, it may be smooth sailing, and unless the Ortegas of the world or someone else out there has something for him, you just never know.
Yeah, I look at those type of guys, because I just think at the end of the day, man, Frankie and them just gonna be too freaking small, man. When they come in there on fight night, when he hydrate back up, I mean, I think he gonna touch him with that long reach and keep him at bay. And when you try to shoot, you're gonna take some punishment when you shoot.
Hey, who was taller when they stood next to each other, Cub or Frankie?
Cub, I think.
Who was taller when they stood next to each other, Yair or Frankie?
Yair.
That's what I'm saying. You know, of course, I'm not saying bet Frankie. It's Frankie all day. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying don't discount that. He's got a certain type of offense that's tough to stop. But if you can stop it, then yeah, it's going to be a long night for Frankie Edgar. But you know, Frankie Edgar, the one thing he was met with when he fought Aldo that he wasn't met with others was this fucking speed and athleticism that Aldo has that I'm not sure anyone else has. So it just becomes a style of fights is what it becomes. And hopefully if Holloway wants to continue his run, he can stop that. And if he can, I think that's going to be the major obstacle in the division. I don't know what Mendez will even be like coming off 2 years. He may not even be that explosive Mendez that, you know, who has a great double leg and also develops some hands, some kicks of him, you know, for himself as well. But, you know, that's what makes things interesting. And then I would be remiss not to say another opponent that Max Holloway has to fear is Max Holloway, because when you become popular and you make a lot of money, sometimes you start to feel like you can walk on water. You're it. Maybe you don't have to work as hard. Maybe you lose the hunger. Although I haven't identified that in Holloway. I really haven't. Holloway has something special. He looks like he wants to be a legend in this sport. You saw when we talked to him today, and any interviews you've seen, post-fight, he still seems like a grounded individual. So I think we're safe there.
Yeah, I made it a point to ask about his background there, and I really liked what he had to say. Speaking on that, George, as far as maintaining and citing other athletes and other sports that he's kind of modeling after. So he's maybe one of the if we're an insurance company, maybe he'd be one of our lesser worried about.
The rates don't go up.
Right, yeah, there we go.
Oh, by the way, I have an answer for that too.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Showtime. Thank you very much for the call. However, since
guys,
I value you as a caller, if you have one more point to make, I'm all ears, actually.
Oh no, man! I just want to talk about the fights, man. Just with how much heart everybody showed, male and female, man. Just showing heart to gut it out, be freaking tired, and just unlike the Sanchez fight tonight, I was giving him a lot of flack. I know he's a fighter, he has heart, but he need to get his cardio up, man. I hate to see guys gas out. You very seldom see females gas out. You see guys gas out all the time, but I'm going to get out of here on that.
That is true. All
right, buddy. Thanks
for the call, Showtime. Hey, shout out to Ensign NOA, who's in our Facebook combat chat right now. It's pretty cool to see him. We're going to be seeing him in a couple days.
Another fellow Hawaiian.
Yep.
Yeah, it will be great to see him. I gotta rock my. I'm gonna do 3 in honor of my bracelets, my Destiny Forever bracelets. I'm gonna do 3 in honor of his visit. I usually only do 2. I'm afraid if I start doing 3, people are gonna go, well, look at this guy who,
You're gonna do 3.
He likes the flash and pizzazz.
Pulls off 3.
Does he really?
Overpowered.
I've done 2. I've yet to pull off 3. I only saved 3 for special occasions.
I've never worn 2 at the same time.
You haven't? I really like 2 at the same time. One's not bad, but I really like 2 I'm comfortable with. But I may go 3 with when Ensign pays us a visit. What is that? December 8th we're scheduled for?
He comes in this week, yeah. This Friday.
Oh, this Friday.
Yeah. I'm excited. That's awesome.
You want to know another big name that may visit the studio soon?
Sure. No one's listening. Right? Earmuffs.
Rhymes with teriyaki.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
No idea what
this
you're
week?
saying.
Huh?
This week?
When do you want him? How's that sound?
Oh, next week.
You want him next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've already started working on that. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you still thinking teriyaki?
I'm still thinking about teriyaki, and now I'm thinking about a referee.
I know who he's talking about, but now I'm thinking of teriyaki.
Is that what you're having for lunch now?
No, I've already planned out lunch.
What are you having for lunch?
Golden Zen curry.
That sounds
What's
good.
That? Curry place on Rainbow.
So it's Thai food?
You know what? I don't know what it is. Because it looks like it has a Japanese logo. But curry's traditionally Indian, right?
Indian, Thai.
But I've also heard that with the Thai,
It comes
the
strong.
chicken curry's a plate, so
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I'm actually going to Tacos and Tequila. I haven't been there in 3 months. But
Ooh.
Man U plays at 11:45, and it's a Champions League game, so I'm gonna hustle over there after our show's over and check out the boys. It was funny because I tweeted, had a great weekend. First of all, USC played on Friday, and they won the Pacific 10 division. There's 12 teams. Pac-12, it's called now. And they defeated Stanford. So they won, got things off to a good start. Mater Dei, my high school, the #1 team in the nation. We won our game. So we won the CIF Southern section. Now we have to play Concord de La Salle, which is Joey Varner, where he comes from. We have to play that team for the state championship. But we've started at #1 all year. We beat Bishop Gorman. We beat Joey Diaz's high school, North Bergen in Jersey.
Bergen
Dude,
County.
They put out, I'm going to see if I can find it, but they paid us respect. They said, we had a great season, and we played all the top teams, including that team masquerading themselves as a high school, that Division I team masquerading themselves as a high school Mater Dei. So they paid us respect by saying that. That looks really good.
That's what's up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
You're buying that?
Katsu.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chicken katsu curry.
Holy shit.
Chicken katsu curry. Okay,
You're buying that and going straight home, or do you have errands to run?
I want to go straight home and watch the
I
game.
may give you money to just pick me one up and I'll have
It's
that for
good.
dinner.
It's spicy
I don't
as
know.
hell, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but you can order it not spicy.
All right.
Ooh, chicken katsu is my favorite food. Say that. Keep that away from me. Yeah.
So I'm 2-0 with the Mater Dei game. Then on Sunday, the Niners win in Chicago. So that's what, 3-0, and then I thought it was 4-0. Oh, Manchester United.
Oh, yeah.
Manchester United won their game against Arsenal at Arsenal. Was it? I think it was. That one I didn't see because we were doing the tour in Virginia.
I left it taped on the thing for you, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, look at that.
So I
You have
when
one
did
more
you do
victory.
that? When did you do that?
I tape all of them, so it's already there
On Cox or on DirecTV?
on Cox.
Oh, because I looked on DirecTV to see if there was a miracle,
No.
and it wasn't there, and I go,
put
all
it on
right.
Cox because I know you like Cox.
Goes. So then I was looking for it, and I couldn't find it. I know the highlights, but I wouldn't mind seeing the boys play. You know, Howie D sees Liverpool. I think it's bullshit, personally. A listener from Austria named Daniel, but he goes with Howie D or something like that. This guy says he watches Liverpool games 4 times over, or 3 times over, a total of 4. Different angles, different languages. I don't know what. Maybe he's a scout for the team or what he's doing, but I'm gonna try and do at least rewatch it, even though I know the result. So I happened to post on Facebook. What a great weekend!
Right.
Visited the troops, bonded with the fellas, got back safe. House was clean, dinner was cooked. My teams won, and sure enough, there's a yahoo that goes, "Well, what about the Lakers?" And the Lakers had lost to the Rockets. Strong point. The Rockets are good. They're the best team in the NBA. Well, maybe not record-wise. I think they may be the best team in the Western Conference. And I looked at it and I go, God damn, what do I got to go like fucking 10-0 on shit? You know, all right, here we go. Let's start beefing, you know. And so I got to start digging. Well, what are these motherfuckers like? I didn't have to go too far to see that the Lakers lost by the same identical score that this young fella's Buffalo Bills had lost to the New England Patriots. I go, yeah, it looks like we lost by 20, like your Bills.
A Muppet, by any chance?
It's a Muppet from Houston.
Okay.
It's our the guy that's always headlining super fights or something like that.
Yeah.
He got his brown belt though.
Did he?
Congratulations to Marcel. He
Nice.
won his fight. He won his grappling match and he got his brown belt, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
It
what's
looked
up.
brown, so congrats to Marcel. Now I'm not much of a ball buster, I guess. Now I'm actually high-fiving him, but the Bills had lost. So he goes on to say, but the Patriots are a great team. Who did you guys beat? Well, we beat Chicago in Chicago, but Chicago's not a great team, but neither are we. So I was just proud of the win on the road with Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way, who played well. No TDs, 1 interception, but almost 300 yards. But still, he won the game. You know, sometimes that's what matters. Sometimes I'm always boxing with people about Lonzo Ball. His stats have really diminished, so he's not playing as well as he was early on. It's a confidence thing, but he'll shake out of it. But there were times when we were winning. When we're winning, I don't care what the guy did. You know what I mean? As long as we're winning. What's the point of scoring 48 like Russell Westbrook but losing the game? I mean, I don't see the point in that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we still got Kuz anyway. Our rookie class is great because we have Kuz. We're chilling. But, yeah, man, I couldn't believe that I can't just post something and then all of a sudden, yup, there's someone right there to tear it down. I guess I have to go 10-0 with all my teams. They all have to be blowouts. I have to hit 10-team parlays, and then everyone leave me the fuck alone.
You
And
left
then
one
today
out, too.
goes, what's that?
With that little thing that we do with our friend here, you went like 11-2, which is
Yeah.
almost unheard of. So
Well,
that was another.
I'm sure Marcelo will
Big
be
coup.
letting me know why I didn't go 13-0. But get this. Then, this is the buffoonery that I get mixed up with in Facebook. You guys know Ernie, with the mustache guy?
Yeah.
From the LA area? Nice guy. But every once in a while, you know, we do the whole butting heads on Facebook deal. And I happen to post a video of the Raptor.
Nice.
It's a beautiful sight to see that thing take off, right? And the privilege that we get to get a little bit more up close. I know many of you have seen air shows, and you've probably seen a Raptor. So it's. I'm not trying to say, look what we did. Others have seen it. It's just being on the flight line is just a little bit closer. You know, it's a little bit. In fact, I'm not even posting it for that. I'm just posting it to show just how beautiful the Raptor is when it's taking off. Ernie proceeds to let me know that it's been a dud for the United States military, and then he goes on to post some blog or whatever, and I just started thinking, damn, dude, you just like to cream on anybody. But all right, I'll click this dumb blog that you're quoting, you know, and I've never seen the blog, but it looks like they're talking about another airplane. He didn't even get his source right. And
Well, I was gonna say, how could it be a dud? Like, the three of us know what it takes to get in there and what we have to hide and what we can and cannot do.
Man,
They do not do that for
it's
duds.
not a dud, man. But yeah, if you go on my Facebook page, you'll just see an exchange there that I don't know why I get involved with it.
I don't know if you watch that Walking Dead show that Goes watches, but it's almost when you're explaining this, it's like there's just a legion of zombies rabble rousting, outside the fences, and you're about to turn in, you're safe behind your fences, and you're like, you know what, just a couple more rounds. You put on your shield, you grab your bat, you start wading into that's what it feels like with social media sometimes, and you're.
It does. Sometimes I'm in the mood to brawl, but then there's other times where I'm just saying hello, and others are posted. I don't have kids, I have a dog, and
Yeah, but when you wake up in the morning, how many times do you go, just 5 more minutes? Then you gotta look back at the previous day and go, fuck, I spent 5 minutes arguing with this yahoo.
Well, this sounds like
I could have been sleeping in. That's what I do. That's why I don't do it.
Well, sounds like a good stun gun, but who would we be stun gunning here? I mean, you named a couple people, but what's the name for these people?
Oh yeah,
I
you know
guess?
what? That's my
What's the
stun
name
gun for the
these
week. Stun gun Ernie, stun gun Marcel.
All right.
There you go. That's my stun gun story for the week. I probably had another one. In fact, I remembered the one I had a week ago, and then I proceeded to forget it because I think I remembered it late at night while we were in Virginia. But yeah, take those two right there.
Is that the heckle?
Just come over. I'm having a party, and check out my 80-inch TV, and I just got it as a gift, and they're the ones that go, well, why didn't you get an 85-inch? So yeah, that's those two. Did you stun gun them?
I can't stun gun for now.
Oh, you can't?
No, because now that I've moved here, I need to
no.
find a cable that can reach
Yeah,
here.
we're still
to plug
figuring
me
it
in.
out.
Oh, okay.
I had a stun gun, a sound effect for stun guns yesterday, and today I can't find it.
Somewhere, someone has to be being stunned right now.
So
in the United States. We'll
I'd
just
like to add Goes
credit
and
that.
Danny to my stun gun for not having a stun gun to stun gun those two
Wow.
buffoons.
We weren't expecting it on a Tuesday, though.
Yeah.
Here
You said we were
Tuesday.
moving to
Tuesday.
Taser Tuesday, right?
Oh, shut up.
Tuesday.
outside?
Tuesday.
No, please tell me.
That's Jeff Hood in Savannah.
Oh, no shit.
Lieutenant,
I
they were just
Oh,
on
wow. Look at them. Yeah. From the United States Air Force.
We were just, oh my God, he's going to come in so useful on this conversation that we
Yes.
just had.
What's our commercial
All right,
status?
we need to take a break.
Let's
Yes,
take
we
a
need one
break,
more. That's perfect.
and then we'll get out of that. And then, Ernie, we're going to fuck you up with some info on the F-22 Raptor. You asked for it. You're getting it. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
SiriusXM is giving you the chance to win a trip for two to Los Angeles for a private holiday concert with the Brian Setzer Orchestra at the Troubadour. Our winner will meet Brian Setzer and take home one of his signature guitars. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Setzer Christmas Rocks before December 8th, and it's open to only those with SiriusXM before December 8th. No purchase is necessary. All right, continuing on here with our talk that we were having about the F-22 Raptor. Could the timing have been any better, Goes?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So this gentleman, his name is Jeff Hood, from the Langley Air Base, Fort Eustis trips that we've been doing, JBLE, and he's a former pilot, and that's why he's going to come in handy. I was just talking. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here
you
again.
And Savannah, thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
And you're going to come in handy because I was as I was walking away and we were heading to the bus, I heard the noise, and I saw the Raptor taking off. I go, man, what a thing of beauty! And so I was sharing that with my followers on Facebook.
Both of them.
Somebody said, yeah, both of them, and
our mom and dad.
And one of them immediately chimes in and says, "It's a dud." What do you say? I got to find the exact words here. It's a fail. It's a dud. And I actually stared at that comment for a good 2 minutes because I know people like to hate, and so sometimes if I'm in the hating mood, I'll go in there and box and online, social media, and then there's sometimes I ignore. But that one, I don't know. For some reason, it rubbed me the wrong way. He says, "Just too bad it's a lemon," is what it says. And I wrote back, "Yes, and the world is flat. Carry on." I thought he was one of those. Is there any one of those? The world's
I think
flat,
maybe he
we didn't
could
land on the
be.
moon. And all
I
that
mean,
shit.
I don't know that he's exactly those.
Right.
But yeah.
But then he says, okay, so this is what he says, and I want you to set him straight.
All right, I'm listening.
All right. Massive costs, overruns, can't transfer parts between planes, unsure of stealth, if it truly is a folly or not, shows off moves of thrust, vectoring that pretty much will get you killed in a dogfight, can't be mass-produced like the Russian version in a war situation, and to produce it again, everything would have to be retooled again and making it cost even more. But yes, I will carry on. LOL, he says to me.
Okay.
So I've seen this airplane. I've gotten the briefs on it. I don't have the information like you do. Obviously, you've flown many different aircraft, but I can just defer to you at this point.
Yeah, let me. There's some of his opinion is based in reality, but I think it's been maybe a little bit skewed. Okay, so originally, the airplane was designed to be the follow-on to the F-15, which has something like 143-to-0 kill ratio in real time. I'm not talking out in exercise. I'm talking actually bringing down MiGs and other enemy aircraft. So the F-22 is going to be the follow-on to that. It came out. We first went we call IOC, Initial Operation Capability, about 2005 or so. And you got to look at the world right there. We just had 9/11. We were in Afghanistan and Iraq. We're fighting folks who don't have aircraft. And I get that. And Secretary Gates made a decision. The Air Force wanted quite a few more jets. We got 187. And because of that, so when you look at the price, the cost of all that development, all that tooling, instead of, it's just like you go out, I go out and buy a, a Honda Accord. I think there's like 300,000 Honda Accords built every year, and sold in the States. Okay, I want to go out and buy a Maserati. We don't, there's about, a couple hundred of those, or maybe 500 of those. So the cost of a Ferrari or Maserati or a Lamborghini or something like that is going to be, that you got to pay for that somehow.
I did.
And yeah, I've seen your Maserati. It's very nice. But so the cost of all that had to go into a smaller number of aircraft bought. So it did cost more than we had hoped. I mean, that's the facts of the matter. And that's why, as we go forward with the Joint Strike Fighter program, the F-35, which the Navy and the Marine Corps and the Air Force has a version. I mean, we're really looking at buying a couple thousand of those and spreading that cost. Kind of like, you spread that icing across the cake, you get it thinner and thinner, so the price of every aircraft comes down. With regard to the thing about you can't rebuild them, this and that, yeah, there was a decision made about a year ago that we're not going to look back at buying any more aircraft. But where I would say, he had a comment about mass producing, or there's, whether it's a Russian like a Su-57 or Pak-50, whatever you want to call it, or one of the Chinese jets that are kind of bringing some stealth capability, some Gen 5 capability on board. None of those aircraft are going to be built. It's not like cranking out, World War II, I think we built like, I don't know, 18,000 B-17s or 10,000 P-51s. That's just not. You just can't do that anymore. We're not just cranking out Model Ts off a production line, building multiple aircraft a day. So I don't really, as far as that side of it, I don't really see it. As far as the aircraft itself, here's what I can tell you: that every combatant command, I spent 2 years out in Korea flying A-10s by the line out there. A lot of time in the Middle East, the Balkans, Iraq, Afghanistan, every place. Every place where there's somebody who's worried about getting in a fight, they're asking for the F-22, because that brings a capacity of speed and stealth and other attributes and sensors built into that aircraft that's just it can't be replicated.
That's the performance of the plane that I want you to expand a little bit more. We are at the top of the hour here, so we're just going to pay some quick bills.
Sure,
we'll be right back. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll keep talking about this F-22 Raptor because I have a few stats on it as well that impressed the hell out of me. So when I saw this fool talking about our F-22 Raptor, I took it personal. That's why brought the big dog, Jeff Hood, here to show him what time it is. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to
It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We are talking F-22 Raptor over here, F-22 Raptor talk. We're in the process of some ownage of a serious internet troll named Ernie from LA. We're coming after you, Ernie. Jeff, is it not true that the moment we put an F-22 Raptor up in the air, 5 MiGs will turn around? They don't want any. They can't handle the F-22 Raptor. You need to come with 6 or 7 before it's even any close to being a dogfight.
Well, I'm going to take an exception to that. Is that I don't think they will turn around because they're not going to know the F-22 is in the air.
Well, that's a good point.
So they're going to be...
One spotted, though, however.
Well, one spotted there.
It's over?
Yeah, it's already over. It's already over. So they're not going to know the jet's in the air. And getting back to a couple of things that Ernie was saying there, and you got to understand, we don't just fight one aircraft against a different aircraft. That's not how combat works. So you see the F-22 out there. What you don't see is the guys sitting back, doing the space piece, doing the cyber piece, doing the intel piece, doing all this other stuff, fusing all this data, and bringing that to the F-22 pilot, where he's got a level. I mean, I've started back in what we call Gen 3 aircraft, and I flew Gen 4 aircraft, where the pilot had to create in his mind the whole situational awareness, what the battle space looked like. Right now, the F-22, its sensors and what it can do, it presents that to the pilot. So he's making decisions faster than the other guys. So his missiles coming off the rail first at a longer distance. There's a kill going on, and that, again, those 5 guys, they didn't even know they were in the fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some serious stuff there. Yeah. No, that's a thing of beauty, the F-22 Raptor. And we've been privileged to see it. Like I say, I know that we're thanked when we go out, but we can't thank you guys enough for having us. Our morale's boosted as well. For one, let's just start with the fact that we learn more and more each time by the different units that are put together. The visits by Carl and Alton. But just knowing how well all these young men and women are trained for all the different jobs that they have to do, all these different jobs that comprise of the United States military across all its branches.
Sure.
And then we come back and we're just as motivated by them, because
fighters.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you so much for allowing us to visit JBLE, our 4th time. That was our 4th time.
It's been 4th time of the year. You brought the, you brought the Bullet. We were just talking. You brought Bullet out. She had a great visit. She did some Muay Thai against some soldiers out there. Taught them a few moves, and she was great. And Colby is out, and then you had Art and the guys this time. And every trip you just builds on the next. And I was 27 years active duty, did a lot of stuff, and folks come up and say, hey, thanks for your service, but you guys really walk the walk. 4 times out in a year, what it does for our kids, it's just, I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys. It means a lot. It means a lot to us for that support.
Thank you. We hope to come back. I already let the command sergeant major know. You just let us know, and we will keep coming back. This time we built the Legends Tour.
Yeah, I know.
Like you mentioned, R. Davey, Uriah Faber recently retired, inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Jens Pulver, their first lightweight champion.
Sure.
And then we still brought one of them young, hungry lions, in James Vick, who's 12-1 overall.
Yeah,
so
doing great.
it was just a great group, and now the word is spreading, and there's other fighters that want to come on the next trip with us. So JBLE will always be in our hearts, and as long as you'll have us, we'll keep coming back.
Nah, we'll keep doing it. And Art, he did some talking to about leadership and about having that dream and having that vision, doing something that folks that say you can't do. And I get that. I came from a place in Northwest PA where it's kind of where Appalachian meets the Rust Belt, and there wasn't anybody in my town who was a little town of 1,000 people. Nobody was a fighter pilot where I grew up, and so I can really feel for Art's story. You can do it. You can do what you want to do, but you just gotta keep pressing forward. You gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta keep moving forward. And that's a great message he takes, and it's a great message for our young kids. And it's just a win-win across the board. So thanks again, guys, for coming out.
If you don't mind, your career as a fighter pilot, is that something when you look back on you can talk about?
Sure.
Can you share a story with us of something like one of your missions, or all we know is Top Gun and a few other movies and things we've seen, but you're the real McCoy, you're the real Maverick over here. Were you ever in a pickle or whatever you call it, or was it always dominance for the USA? What can you share with us?
It's a good question. And I was in flight school in California when the movie came out. So I was Goose first. I was a WISO, weapons system operator, in an aircraft called the F-111. back in '86, we bombed Libya with it. It was a 2-seat fighter bomber.
F-111, you said?
Yeah, F-111. Yeah, about a Mach 2.5 aircraft. Had swing wings, a couple big engines on it. And so when I came in, what we were ready to do was go to, we talked about go fight toe to toe against the Ruskies type of thing. Go and do that. And that's what we trained for, and that's what we did. So when kind of Desert Storm came along, we had all that capacity, and we were fighting fighting guys that were different than that.
I think I've seen that one when they do the flyby.
Yeah, you do the flyby
at a stadium or something like that.
Yeah, you do the flyby, and the Australians had it, and you might remember what we could do, and we didn't do it because it wasn't legal, so of course we didn't do it. But
the tower?
You could dump gas, and it came out. It was 2,200 pounds a minute, and it came out between the engines. Why they did it there, that was made sense for the engineers. But if you tapped afterburner, that thing would light, and you'd have like a 300-foot ball of fire behind you.
Oh,
so I don't know if you remember when the Olympics were down in Australia, they did a flyby over the stadium. The guy went vertical, and he did that, and it just looks like a comet going up. So, but that was great flying, and it was the way we fly now is completely different. I tell you, I got to 111 school up in Idaho. We had 11 kids in our class. Then the first year, 2 were dead, 2 different accidents. We flew low. We flew low. Low. And it was an inherently dangerous business. And the what we do now, we did well. First thing, we fly a lot smarter. Our tactics are better. Our comms are better. Everything's better across the board. The kids working on the aircraft are better. The aircraft are built better. It's just night and day from when I came in here. I used to come down to Nellis out here to Vegas when I was a lieutenant back in the 80s and 90s. And it's just a lot. Things have changed a lot. It's still the warrior ethos. Don't get me wrong there, but it's just like your tactics are better. It's just like fighting you can get 2 fighters, and if they're equal, the smarter guy's going to win. The guy's better trained, the guy's smarter, better equipped is going to win. And it's the same thing. It's great aircraft. I loved it. It's like your first girlfriend, type of thing. But it was a beast to fly that thing. So
can I ask a silly question?
No, sure.
All right. George and I have become very good at flying the F1 simulator.
Yeah.
The pilot said that the simulator.
No, I flew the Raptor.
The
simulator. He told me it was a
F-22
Raptor.
Okay. Yeah. He said the simulator sometimes is even more difficult than actually flying the plane.
I believe that. Yeah.
So my question is this.
Sure.
Let's just say that the F-22 Raptor could hold 2 people. I think the early ones could, right?
No, never.
Right, let's just say it could.
So it was always a one-seater?
Always a one-seater.
Okay.
And let's just
hold on real tight, maybe.
Say the pilot, he passes out or something, and George and I have to land the plane. Could somebody with us flying that simulator so well, because I landed mine on the Las Vegas Strip, I think George did as well, could we possibly be coached into landing that plane? What do you think the odds are? Give us a percentage.
Okay, on a commercial plane, yeah, because they have auto land, and you can go in there and you can talk to the folks on the ground. They can tell you what to do, guide you, and the plane will do that a lot itself. The Raptor is a great jet. None of a Viper, an F-16, or an Eagle, an F-15, a Hog, A-10, which I flew a lot. None of them are difficult inherently to fly. So, because all that stuff, it's like riding a bike. You don't think about riding a bike. That's the same way when you're flying a jet. You can't think about it because your mind, you are using a weapon system. You are engaging in a very dynamic environment. So that's where your mental capacity has to be. Now, as far as your question, I think I suggest you just go out over the ocean and lunch, and we'll send the Coast Guard out to pick you up and then soft landing.
So what's with the simulator?
Landing's tough. Landing is really tough.
Yeah, you might.
Everything else was okay.
You might ruin my runway for a while. I don't want to refix my runway. So.
I think they were kind to me. They said you landed it. You saved us a lot of money. It's not in pieces or whatever. But I did land it, not on the runway. It was on a field. But I had a steady hand. It was just when I was trying to get on the runway, I started overcompensating, and that was that. It was a wrap.
Yeah. Now, if you guys had some actual flight, when you're flying, it is easier in the sim because when you're flying, you have all these other dynamics. You feel it in your rear end. You're pulling G's, you're going this or that. You feel it in your ears. There's a whole bunch of your body is sending signals to your brain about what's going on. Where when you're doing it on a computer screen or something like that, all you have is your eyes. That's all you have. And sometimes you need to fly that way. If we're flying in weather, like we're flying where we can't see outside, then we fly on instruments, and we do that, and we trust what's in the instruments. We kind of ignore those bodily signals. But most of the time, though, you're flying in what we call a VFR, visual flight environment, where you can see outside. So if you knew how to land, a Piper Cherokee or a 172 or something like that, and say, well, maybe you could do it. But
could you land a Raptor?
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, that's insulting.
About it.
Yeah.
You should actually tell him you're insulted.
Well, he's never been in one, right? You've never been in one, right?
No, I haven't been.
Yeah.
No,
that's confidence right there.
But
that's
I
why I like Jeff.
Yeah,
I'll be on like a flight out here. I'll be on a 767.
That's like walking up to a NASCAR guy and saying, "Could you drive an Indy car?" He's probably gonna be able to.
Are you allowed to? Are you allowed to talk about your call sign or not?
Yeah, my call sign when I was a kid. I mean, I'm in my 50s now. I'm not the oldest looking guy. So when I started flying the Hog, the movie Boys in the Hood was out.
Oh, so let us guess.
Yeah.
Were you Boys in the Hood? Oh, Boys in the Hood. I was thinking of not Friday, but Menace to Society. Boys in the Hood. Do you remember their names?
Were you Doughboy?
No, you're overthinking. I was just Boys. Yeah,
that's the only name I could think of.
Doughboy.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. So yeah.
Well, so what was it? Just Boys?
Just Boys. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it's been years now. So it's just Jeff now.
Oh, okay, I get it. There you go, Jeff Hood. I just said that.
Yeah.
Why didn't I didn't put that one together. All right. Well, no. Thank you for sharing all that. I wanted to ask you, do the older pilots tease the younger pilots? Kind of like in sports, like in my day, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
As far as how these athletes are so good, but now they don't have two-a-days and they don't have some of the trials and tribulations that the older athletes did. Same thing go on with you guys?
Well, especially flying a fighter aircraft, where you don't really realize it until after you stop doing it and you start getting fat because you're eating the same food and you're not having this hour and a half of workout 3 times a week where you're out there pulling G's. But yeah, it's an athletic event, and that's why our guys and gals, they're out there, they're hitting the gym. They got to keep in shape, because if you don't, you don't fly well. You don't perform as well. And I remember when I was flying in the I flew in the Gulf War in 2003 when we invaded. I'm not flying. I was on like my 5th or 6th kind of night NVG, about 5 or 6 hour flight in a row. And I remember landing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm too old for that. This is it. I'm good." I was almost 40 then, and I was like, "This is a young." I remember when I was a 25-year-old flying in a squadron, and these old guys would come down and fly with us, and they're not as good, and they had their old war stories about back in the day, this and that, and you're like, "Hey, old man, it's it's really the guys that it's lieutenants and captains that go out there and they're flying, 3-4 times a week, and that's what they do, and they're at the kind of the pinnacle of their game. That's the best you're going to be. And when you get older and you're doing other things, you're working a staff job and you're flying on the side, that you're just not. It's like anything else. You're not as good. If you're out there, every athlete has other than Tom Brady, he's going to go forever maybe, but every athlete's got their kind of the prime years, and it's the same in the fighter business. That doesn't mean you can't be a commercial. I think you can be a commercial pilot well into your 60s, and that's fine. You don't have that physical wear and tear like you do when you're flying a high G aircraft, high performance aircraft.
Is that where you become Viper or Jester and you teach?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, because you're flying the same equipment, but you got a couple tricks up your sleeves that the young kids. And it's like anything else, like everything else. You're out there sparring. A young kid sparring with an older guy. Yeah, the young kid might be faster, might be a little quicker, but there's probably some moves he hasn't seen them all yet. And it's the same. It's the same type.
That's when you dive below the hard deck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Don't dive below the hard deck. You don't do that.
Well, but he can't hit you below the hard deck.
Yeah, that's you're dead. You go home. You're dead. You go below the hard deck. So.
If I was listening to the show and I was an 18-year-old, this is the kind of thing that would inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to become a pilot? Did you meet a pilot, or did you see a movie? Like what I guess made you tick to want to go down that road?
Sure. You're gonna have the LT on here in a second, and she and I kind of laugh because I didn't do anything the normal way in my career, which is it's kind of nice because I found opportunities that I didn't expect. So I was a high school kid, and mom and dad were great, but we didn't have a lot of money, and I was able to. The Air Force offered me some money to go to school, so that's what I did. and then I graduated from college, and I was actually supposed to be a weather officer. I was supposed to go to Penn State and get a degree in meteorology, and I was tired of school. I was done. I was schooled out. So I talked to an old he's a lot younger than me now, but at that time an old crusty sergeant. I said, Sarge, what can we see?
Sergeant.
I've had 3 uncles and a brother who are sergeants. So you find out you want to get something done. You take care of those folks. So I took him down to 6-pack Old Milwaukee and said, hey, Sarge, what can we do here? And he goes, let me make some phone calls, Lieutenant. And he goes, well, you ever think about flying? I said, well, I didn't think it was something I could do. I even had glasses back then. He's like, I know some folks. We can make this work out. And then that was the start of me going out to California and going to flight school. And then it just went on from there. And I did a whole bunch of stuff. But and I told you a couple of things. Take care of people, and just keep your doors open. Don't close it. If you don't have to close the door in your life, don't close it. Keep it open as an option, because you never know what might crop up or what opportunity might strike yourself. And I that's what I tell them. I got 2 teenage boys, and I tell them the same thing. I said, I didn't know what I want to do. I still don't know what I want to do with my life. But just don't get in the habit of closing off options. Don't do something stupid that's going to be like, well, you can't do this or that anymore. Keep your option open. We're not all angels. We're not going to do the right thing every time, but try to do as best you can. And hey, and I tell my kids, if you're looking for an opportunity, and you guys see it, there's a lot of opportunities out in the military. We're at an air show thing here this week, and this summer, you're going to be able to go out to all across the country and see Air Force jets fly. The F-22, they're bringing the A-10 back to go fly in air shows. Of course, the Viper and our demo teams, this and that. But they're out there talking to, across the industry. They're looking for 100,000 people to go into aviation-related jobs, whether that's working on jets or flying jets or this and that or whatever. So you got kids out there, they're not sure they want to do. Take a look at aviation for a future. I know when I was 15, 16, when I was 15, my older brother got in a car accident, and my dad turned to me and said, "You're never going to drive a car." So I, didn't think I'd be flying a jet. But it's like Art told the kids, you can do it. You can do it. So just keep your dreams alive, and good luck to everybody out there.
Tell us about your band.
My band. Yeah, I was in 2006. I was the keyboardist and backup singer to the best band in Afghanistan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were they called?
They were called Rocket One and the Monkey Pumpkins.
Nice.
So
I like that.
I had to.
Somebody needs to make that T-shirt.
So yeah, so I came out of Iraq, and I went down to the War College, and I was down there, and I get a call, and the commandant says, "Hey, Jeff, got a great deal for you. You're going to go out to Afghanistan for a while and stand up, work for the army out there." Okay, so sure, you bet. And salute. And told my wife, and she just looks at me like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And so we got to Afghanistan, and we've been out there for a while, and we're doing. I'm leading a team of about half a dozen guys, and we're doing some great stuff. But you have a lot of time on your hands, and you work all the time because there's nothing else to do. But this one guy, he had his wife ship him his guitar. And so he had a guitar, and he was playing. And I'm like, well, I know how to play keyboards. And then next thing you know, we had another kid who knew how to play the drums. And and by the time we got this thing going, it got to where we had more gigs than we actually had work to do. So we were playing gigs for the Germans, the Italians. Played a gig for the commander, Carl Eichenberry, who was a 3-star there at the time. There was the ambassador. And yeah, we just had it was a great time. So we were We'd have shows, smoke machines, the whole deal.
Oh yeah.
Play a gig for about 1,000. There wasn't much competition at the time, So we'd play up to like 1,000 for 1,000 people. And it was just 4 or 5 guys just being goofy and having fun. And yeah, it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. So.
I actually have a clip of you playing the keyboard.
No,
you want to hear it?
No way.
Hey man, we got stuff here at MMA Junkie Radio. Can you play that, Danny? This is Rocket One.
Hey, that ain't bad.
That's pretty good. Nice. Pretty good, Jeff Hood.
That's the synthesizer, though, isn't it?
I don't know. Not bad.
You are a talent.
You know who
did that?
You know who told me that.
You are a talented individual. Hey,
Yeah.
you said something funny, and I thought long and hard about this because when we were at, let me see if I got this straight, we had a lot of stops. The 128th Aviation Brigade at Fort Eustis, excuse me. After we were seeing the Apache helicopters, they had this display case of missiles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the right place.
Yeah.
And they were showing the history of missiles.
Sure.
But they specified that some of them still work. Stuff that we used, I guess, you know, I'm not so sure it was World War II or maybe Korean War or whatever, still worked. And one of them was this, it was a missile where I guess little parachutes would come out.
Okay.
And that's obviously what we used to, that the missile, in other words, let's go of that, and the parachutes come out. Do you remember that or no?
I remember. I don't remember a parachute to it, but I remember the.
Well, and I go, so that's history, or are they still using it? He goes, yes, they still use it. And I was thinking, imagine the young man or woman that thought of that and put that into place. And obviously, you know, America's been very successful when we had to use that measure. But for that invention, or whatever you want to call it, that idea, to last almost 70 years, 60, 70 years, that's incredible, you know. And I'm glad that on this specific tour it had to do with Art Davie specifically, and then the other legends who were able to fight in a sport that Art created. And I felt like there was a great connection between Art and the idea and the dream that he had. He chased it for 4 years before the first UFC, you know, but he never gave up. But it's interesting how, as you walk around these two bases, the ones that we've been to, and you just look around and say, I wonder who thought of that, I wonder who thought of that, and the technology just keeps getting better and better, but some ideas last for such a long time. You know, if you have an idea, go for it, you know what I mean? And that can be applied anywhere, not just in the military, but in life in general.
Yeah, and what you're talking about is exactly right. The basic 500-pound bomb that Art would have seen us dropping out of F4s, you know, when he was in Da Nang or wherever he was, you know, that same basic bomb body really hasn't changed. I mean, things, you put some TNT there, you think goes boom, this and that. What has changed, though, is it's like continuous product improvement. So somebody figured out, hey, you know, we can put, you know, if I can put a laser seeker on the front of this thing and some fins in the back to steer it around, and I can get somebody to be able to point a laser or something, you know, now I've greatly increased your accuracy. Oh, now we have GPS. Oh, I put a GPS receiver in the front of it. You know, and I can put some coordinates in there, and again, a way to steer it. Now I have what's called a JDAM, a Joint Direct Attack Munition. The bomb itself really hasn't changed, you know, but it's again, how do I use it? How do I use it smarter? How to use it more accurately? That's changed. That's changed completely. Yeah.
You know the zombie apocalypse that we always talk about? Jeff Hood's in my 5. He would be on my team.
You want him there?
I want him there.
Okay.
Explain to him what you're talking about.
If the world just went to shit, it was a zombie apocalypse, I get to take 5 people with me to help me survive.
Are we fighting the zombies, or are we just trying to figure out how to survive?
I'm trying. I have a couple guys that are devoted to fighting the zombies.
That's good.
But
MMA fighters?
You're more towards the let's survive. And then like I go, hey, all I have is this Keurig and this camera, and then that's where you go, I can make a bomb out of that, and then that. So you're that guy.
I guess that's a compliment. Thank you.
Wacky individual, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's thinking though. You know, that's so good. He's always in front
Jeff
of the fight.
I've always said Jeff Hood is on my team.
We talk about being ahead of the jet, because if you're thinking about what happened behind you, you're already too late. You know, you gotta be ahead of the jet. So you're ahead of the jet. That's.
Plus, I'm gonna try to travel to other countries, and I know you know how to get around.
Have been around quite a bit. Have been around a lot. Yeah, just give me a call. We'll go out. We'll go. Where do you want to go?
France.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
Yeah?
All right.
Let's take this quick call right now. Marco from Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco?
Hey, Marco from Waco. ¿Qué pasa, vatos?
¿Qué pasa?
Hey, so you're impromptu guessing here. The whole time he's been talking, I keep thinking on the back of my mind the team from Top Gun. I got a question for you guys. You're the real deal McCoy, man. You know, fighter para my stuff veteran. I was an artillery man in the 82nd Airborne, then became Jack. Don't take it against me. But do you have any resentment for these drone pilots, man? Those guys that fly the Predator drones and stuff, that they're not really on the freaking bird, but they're still flying something and killing shit in it?
Yeah, so talking about we call them RPAs, remotely piloted aircraft. That's a growing endeavor. We do it, of course. The Navy, Marines, Army have it. We all have that. And what it is, be a two-man crew, kind of like when I flew the 111. So you'd be over there, you'd be flying the aircraft, and I'd be over there working the sensors. And if it may have a Hellfire, you might have seen some Hellfires at the 128th. Might have a Hellfire in there dropping, doing a direct attack onto somebody. Yeah, we do a lot of that. Actually, we do some up here in just about 50 miles north of here, up in Indian Springs, up at Creech Air Force Base, and we do some of it out at Langley too, and other places. So it is a way where, when we talk about air superiority, if there's some places that we don't want to take a manned aircraft, you can take that in there, and we're not looking for it to get shot down, but we can accept a higher level of risk if we have a non-manned aircraft. So that it's a growing endeavor. It's just another way to bring some kind of an effect to the battlefield. A lot of ways for just like you did in artillery. If you're out there calling in a 105 or 155 round, it's plus 100, minus 50, fire for effect. Just like they taught you in artillery school. It's the same. You know what I'm talking about, right, brother? Yeah. I spent some time down at Fort Sill doing some fire calls down there. So, Oklahoma? Yeah, I spent 3 wonderful years in Oklahoma. I told my wife it'd be 1 year.
Oh
and
my God.
3. So anyhow,
I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you.
You can. I'm sorry for my wife, but she stayed with me though. So.
Okay. Hey, on MMA, real quick. You guys were talking to Max Sallow early. I think that nobody's going to get in trouble anytime soon, but I'm keeping an eye on Savin Mohamed Sharipov, this Dagestan kid. Is something to behold, and they're in a collision course. My works right now, and Francis the Predator Ngannou is on the loose. So get to the chopper! Get to the chopper now!
All right, Marco. Thanks for the call.
Gracias, my friend.
We'll talk about those potential runs that both of those young fighters will have when we come back. We got to take a break here. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Geoff Quares will be our next guest. We'll talk about Triumphant, which is the new promotion that is going to be featured on the UFC Fight Pass starting in this month of December. Stay close. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Remember that.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Are you a fantasy football loser? If your team crashed and burned this season, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is dedicating today just for you. Call in and vent about the players who ruined your team. Of course, it's not your fault. We get it. It's Fantasy Football Losers Day on Sirius 210 XM87 and on Twitter at SiriusXM Fantasy. All right, folks, buckle up. Our next guest is Geoff Quares, who is the promoter of a promotion called Triumphant. And they dabble in the world of Muay Thai. And you know, man, Muay Thai fights are some of the most exciting out there. Follow along by going to www.triumphantcombatsports.com. And, of course, you can follow Geoff on Twitter at Geoff_Quares, Quares. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Triumphant Combat Sports. Geoff will be bringing Triumphant to the UFC Fight Pass starting in December. And, of course, there'll be some live events in 2018. Joining us now is Geoff Quares. Hello, Geoff. How you doing?
Hey, Gorgeous George. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm beyond honored.
Oh, man. Thank you for joining us here. It's unfortunate we weren't able to link up last week, but as you were telling me earlier, you come to Vegas a lot, so definitely we would love to have you in studio sometime. But welcome to the show. I have Goes and Dan Tom here with me, and I'll tell you, man, we always talk and rave about the UFC Fight Pass because they always add a lot of original content, whether it's live events or, you know, them focusing and showcasing athletes. It's the best deal in town for any combat sports lover, and now they've added Triumphant. Talk about that deal and what it means for your promotion.
Yes, sir. Yeah, hi, fellas. Glad to be on the show. Well, just to give you a heads up, by far, you know, the best people in the business, you know, Dana White, Ant Evans, Mike Merce, Jen Wink, you know, all helped me put this together. One of my meetings with Dana White basically what I said to him was, I want to do for Muay Thai what you did for MMA. And basically, all in a nutshell, here we are. You know, he basically checked, or they pretty much checked into all my previous shows and saw the caliber, the talent, you know, that goes on there. And again, the style, the combat, it speaks for itself. The excitement, it's just nonstop action. And this is actually a sport that everybody, I mean, the part of MMA really that gets the most hype, you know, is the elbows, the punches, the kicks, the knees, the dips, and, you know, it's just constantly nonstop action. So definitely want to showcase this to the world, especially grow the sport here in the United States.
So I want to make sure I got this straight. You guys will have an event in Pleasanton, California on December 15th. Gaston Bolanos, by the way, in that main event. And we'll talk about that highlight reel elbow that he had this past weekend. But he's featured in there. We know him very well, fellow Peruvian like us. And that's on December 15th. And so the way you guys will debut is on VOD on December 20th. And then the live events start in 2018. Do I have that right, Geoff?
That is correct. Yeah, that spinning elbow that Gaston did, that went like viral in a matter of minutes, you know. And then it's like right now there's probably more shares than there is likes on my page right now. But yeah, he's December 15th, Friday in Pleasanton, and that will be on VOD. So a few days after the show, it will be up on Fight Pass, and then in 2018. We're set to go live at the shows. First one being in Vegas.
Oh, awesome! Do we have an official date yet, or not yet?
That's something I'm working on right now, and I should be able to release it pretty soon.
Wow, it's the fight capital of the world, man. So much stuff happens here in Vegas. We are lucky individuals, aren't we?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so by the way, folks, that fight card, Gaston Bolanos versus Turan Hasanov, is for the WMC title fight. Travis Clay versus Anthony Castrillon, and there's a women's title fight, Gina Fabian versus Charmaine Tweet. So some familiar names there. There's a lot of crossover between MMA athletes and Muay Thai athletes. But you know what? While we're on the main event, we know what Gaston brings to the table because a lot of us that follow MMA have seen him. He's made his debut over at Bellator. He's been doing well there. And, of course, we've seen him on the Muay Thai circuit as well. But tell us a little bit about Turan Hasanov and what we can look forward to in that main event.
Well, he's game. He's totally game. I spoke to him the other day. He was finishing up his MRI and everything, and seems like on his social media posts that he's pumped. They're coming in a little bit early, get acclimated. I know it's only a few hours difference, but yeah, he's pumped and ready to go.
Goes, what do you have for Geoff Quares?
Geoff, the rule set for the show, is it pretty much the traditional Muay Thai rules? I know a lot of people have really come to love Muay Thai, and that's the first thing that you have to kind of explain to them are the rules.
Yes, sir. That is the best question you can ask, because that's basically what my motivation and movement is for. Is basically to go full rules. In Thailand, or by definition, Muay Thai is the art of 8 limbs, or science of 8 limbs, rather. Where you use all, your fists, your elbows, your knees, your shins. And one of the things that I'm actually trying to do and work with other organizations across the country is make sure that the commissions and organizations all get on the same page regarding the rules and regulations, so that when we do compete at an international level, that we're not blindsided on trying to adjust to certain things we can or can't do. So yes, so every part of my show is all full rules.
Wow.
Yeah.
Triumphant 2 headed to the Pleasanton Fairgrounds on December 15th. Your headline bout there is Turan Hassanov versus Gaston Bolano. Sorry, Goes, I think I cut you off.
No, I was just saying that's like music to my ears. I really grown to like Muay Thai now, and my other question for you was going to be, do we know yet who's going to be calling the action?
I do know that there's someone who's an original, fight. He's actually a fighter, and you've seen him on all the big shows too. Dan Stell, I believe he's one of them, and I'm actually working with the WMC on getting the approved center official for that those 2 title fights. To make sure that they're licensed with CSAC and approved.
That sounds great, Geoff. I guess my question is to add on to Goz's as far as the rules in traditional Muay Thai. I mean, there's traditional Muay Thai. We've seen, kickboxing shows, of course, but in traditional Muay Thai, they have a certain kind of sets the tone of the match, if you will. It's called the Y Crew, and they come out with the traditional garb and music. Will that be a part of the show, or will that be something allowed for your more traditional combatants that enter your organization?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked that too. See, there's so much that we want to do with this is make sure that we keep the tradition. But yes, that will be part of it. Obviously, it's kind of long on some, and that's where people start to we lose a few people. But for the main fights, the title fights, particularly in the co-main event, yes, we're going to let them do the full White Crew. But for the undercard and all those underneath, we're going to let them do something called sealing the ring. It's basically a quick version of that. Yeah, I know we're going to be on a time crunch, especially since it's going to be on TV. But that's still, basically it's the same process. You're paying respect to your team, your gym, your coach, the country, and your opponent as well. So it is something really to do a little bit of research on, and us to educate the fight fan that's new to Muay Thai.
Awesome.
I have a feeling we're still some time away from this, but I'd love to see how they do it in Thailand, the live betting, especially because we're in Vegas. Holy cow! Have you ever thought of that, Geoff? You know what I mean?
Oh my God! You are in my head. You're totally in my head. Yes, I mean you will see even at the shows, my previous shows. Oh man, there's people like handing stuff to each other. You know what I mean? And I'm getting hit up by some of the officials out there, like, hey, what are they doing? That can't happen, or I don't know what they're doing. I try to, but yeah, there's people totally doing betting on it. So I am, yeah, that's one of the good reasons that we're going to be doing this in Vegas, because it is in the process of me talking to folks who can make that happen.
Yeah, live betting's become big in other sports, but I've seen it done in Muay Thai. And I've seen it done in.
It's the main thing. That's how
highlight
live in Thailand.
Well, believe it or not, in Tijuana. Yes, I was there for the highlight. I went to a highlight event, and they were playing, and they were coming up asking us if we wanted to do the live betting. But Geoff, I'm not sure if you watched UFC 218, but this past weekend, when our boy Paul Felder was getting all sorts of darce chokes applied to him, and he was fighting out of them. When he finally got back to his feet, you just saw the look on Oliveira's face. Dude, if I would have had like $500 and it was live betting, I would have said, "Get me it all on Felder," because I knew I have a knack for seeing when the tide's kind of turning, you know, and I knew the tide was going to turn there. So I don't know, just the dimension, you know, of the sport that maybe could be added, and I'm glad Jeff's thinking the same way.
Hell, I mean, traditional feels, that just gave me the imagery from Bloodsport, right? The Asian guy in the corner, chain smoking, taking bets. I mean, hey, I'm half Asian. I got some glasses, Jeff. If you guys come to Vegas, I'll happily be that guy. If I can get free tickets to the show.
You gotta have a little notepad, too.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm actually in the middle of buying a small spot up there in Vegas. It's like I've been there like 8 or 9 times in the past couple months, so this hotel life is kind of killing me.
There you go.
All right. Well, like we said, you know, next time you're in Vegas, let us know. We'd love to meet you and have you talk a little bit more about Triumphant. But, folks, remember, if you're in the Pleasanton area on December 15th, there is a show at the Pleasanton Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, California. And check it out, a main event of Turan Hassanov versus Gaston Bolanos. That is a title fight. There's also a women's title fight that features MMA fighter Charmaine Tweet. She'll be there fighting Gina Fabian. 15 fights, I believe, overall, and that will also be available video on demand on the UFC Fight Pass December 20th. And like Jeff said, starting in 2018, the events will go live. Hey, Jeff, it's great to talk to you, man. If we missed anything, you wanna blurt it out there? Anything else that you wanted to cover in this interview here?
Yeah. Thank you again for having me on the show. But one of the big things, big pushes for trying to get this big and going, and the excitement here in the U.S. is just last year. I don't know how many people know, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, voted to provisionally recognize Muay Thai as an Olympic sport. So hopefully it's going to be debuting like in 2028 or what. But in order for us to be able to compete at that international level, we all have to come together and fight under the same the rule set, you know, across the country. That is the only way that we're going to be able to step up our game and be at that top level. So that's something I'm huge. You know, that's a big part of my push for this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really appreciate you guys. You know, having me on. This does big. You're not only doing this for me or in the promotion. You're doing this for the sport. There's a huge buzz going on right now on bringing Muay Thai to mainstream. So this is one big step in the beginning. You know, in the beginning of it all.
Well, it was our pleasure. Thank you very much for doing the show, and again, hopefully we can talk to you again in the future. Thanks, Jeff, for the time.
I would be honored. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Have a good day. Again, I'm super honored to be on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we will talk to you soon. And folks, give him a follow on Twitter, Geoff GEOFF _ Quares QUARES. We're gonna take a break here, and when we come back, we'll bring the whole crew together, including Savannah Sellers, who is a public affairs officer, and we'll talk to her. We'll keep talking to Jeff Hood over here, and we'll wrap up the show. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93.
I'm just a shot away from
SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon to bid on items like the opportunity to spend a day at an NFL training camp with the SiriusXM NFL radio team. You can also make a donation and receive a free gift like a Bruce Springsteen Land of Hope and Dreams t-shirt and more. Big shout out to Melinda Sellers for creating this beautiful person we got to meet this past weekend, and now she's here in our studio. That is Savannah Sellers, the public affairs officer for JBLE, correct? Or
That's
is it
correct.
an individualized?
Joint
Okay.
Eustace.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing Jeff Hood as well. He's been telling some great stories, and he's unofficially, I think, the most interesting man
He absolutely is.
on the planet and the universe. He's got to replace that Dos Equis guy, because you notice they went from the old guy to the kind of younger guy.
Right.
Jeff, you
Back
need
to
to
the old
step
guy.
up, man.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You've been telling us some stories here.
Yeah. I didn't know you guys were from Peru. I've been down there too. We can talk afterwards about
this guy. See?
Cusco
Of
and having
course.
some
Did you go to
pisco
Machu
sours
Picchu?
down there. Yeah, I've been, of course.
Yeah?
Come on.
Okay. How many times?
Just once.
Did you ride up on a donkey?
On a llama.
Ah! He one-ups us. He one-ups everything.
You did the Machu Picchu ruins?
Sure. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Go
In
on.
about 2005 or so, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't say, I created Pisco.
No. But I got a good appreciation for
That's my middle name.
pisco sours down there and the Peruvian people.
They're pretty good, aren't they?
Fantastic.
Did you like the food?
Oh, it's all great. It's all
Savannah,
great.
have you ever been to Peru?
I haven't.
Oh,
No.
you should go.
Well, you have an
That's
upcoming honeymoon, right, or something like that?
Yeah, maybe we
yeah,
should add
should
that
be
to
the
the
stop.
possible list. There we go.
Have you guys decided on that, or?
We haven't.
Oh yeah, tell them. I
We're
mean,
in the early
you'll really,
stages.
really like it. Peruvian
Peru.
cuisine is top notch, and then of course you'll be seeing one of the wonders of the world.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll add to the list. No, I'm not as cool as the fighter pilot Jeff Hood over here, but I do think I have one of the best jobs in the Air Force, and it was great to have you guys out.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
There was. Carl and Alton soak up all of the gratitude that we send their way. But we've obviously connected through them. But honestly, there's so much support staff, including yourself, who we got to meet, and all of you contribute to make our tour as best as we can make it. We hope we hit a home run. We're told sometimes we hit a home run, and but really, honestly, people like yourself help us hit that home run.
Well, I can say firsthand that when you're going out there at the 128th with those kids in their initial training, that those are hard days, and there's nothing like being able to take a break from that and have you guys out there and get some inspiration. So we really appreciate it, and the support work behind scenes is nothing in comparison to the inspiration that you guys were able to provide out there. So thank you so much for...
Thank you. I mean, George mentioned it earlier, but it's the effect that they have on us that people don't realize. When we come back here, we're just so motivated to do everything, and the fighters talk about it. And you were there with us for the first day, but then you came out here to Vegas, right?
I did, yes. So
yeah, we missed you on the other
interesting.
days.
I know.
It got
So
pretty
that was
interesting.
that's my my home territory on the Air Force Base. So
Nellis?
no, Langley.
Oh,
So the
Langley.
Langley side of things is kind of where I work, and
Okay.
that's my office.
Did you guys happen to catch the fights, by the way, or how big of MMA fans are you?
No, we didn't.
That was Saturday night.
Yeah, we didn't catch them. When did we fly in? Was it Friday?
Yeah,
I can't
Friday.
remember. But she came in. Now she's not saying this, but her fiance came in with her. So I thought maybe she'd leave as Mrs. Whatever. But
Crazy things happen in Vegas.
know.
Mandalay Bay's got a beautiful wedding chapel.
The odds were in our favor. We said we'd wait a little bit longer this weekend.
Oh, I see.
But at 2 a.m. it sounded like a good idea, but
Well, we
decided against it.
We have drive-thrus and everything, right?
There's
There we
drive-thrus.
go.
Yeah, the people go through drive-thrus. Michael Jordan's been married in Las Vegas. Of course, Elvis was married in Las
That's what I
Vegas.
heard. We should have came and joined the greats.
Taco Bell Cantina will marry you as well. Have you guys heard of the Taco Bell Cantina?
I did not know that.
Oh! Look what just happened here, George. Yeah, we have like a Taco Bell club.
Mm-hmm.
Not a regular club, or not a regular Taco Bell. It's an actual club. You can go in, you can actually get married, you can have alcohol and everything.
It's a big day when you teach Jeff Hood something.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm blown away right now.
I wanted to ask you, when we're out there, we see more males than females, but are those numbers starting to come up?
They are. So what I can tell you is that the strides for women in aviation and women in the military are fantastic. Get out there, because the only way to improve women in the military is for women to join the military. The ratio is definitely not necessarily
Affairs, things like the opportunities they will have, whether they stay or eventually, if they ever fulfill their term and move on. It was really, really impressive. It was one of my more impressed the times where I actually walked away going, wow, like that table's you know, hats off, man. You guys are really, really doing well for yourselves, and they had a thirst for knowledge. In no way did they feel like, wow, we were placed there or anything like that. No, they wanted to do it, and I was like, wow, I was really, really impressed.
You know, women are in every industry in the military now, and I've got some great role models that I have, and my mom was did precision electronics in the military. My sister's a military lawyer, so it's the family business, and I think there are some great women out there that are really making strides and making a difference.
Very cool.
What's your sister's name so we can shout her out too?
Alexis Sellers.
Alexis Sellers.
Shout out to Alexis Sellers. All right. Listen, thank you both, Geoff and Savannah, for coming here.
Thank you.
And again, hopefully we can keep this relationship going. We'd love to come back. Whenever you want us, we will be there.
And
you let us know.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
All right, folks. That is our show for today. Again, thank you to Jeff Hood, Savannah, to Geoff Quares, and UFC featherweight Max Holloway, who was here almost 2 hours ago. Boy, the show flew by, huh? Yeah, Max Holloway, man, he's something else. All right, folks, remember, if you missed any part of the show, we are on the SiriusXM app. Check it out, commercial free and in HD quality. We're also on Facebook. If you ever missed some of the show and you hear some of us talking about overtime, it's facebook.com official MMA Junkie, and of course on YouTube, youtube.com MMA Junkie Video. All right, for Geoff, Savannah, Danny back east and goes, I'm George. Go out there and be champions.
All those hopes down the drain. Las Vegas